Good afternoon, happy Sunday. I am so excited to be able to come on today. I am Melody Kashumba, your Pain to Purpose Accelerator. I work with women that have recognized that they have repetitive cycles of pain, perpetual cycles of pain, and the women I work with have realized that they are not their pain, and they are looking for ways to handle their pain differently and lead victorious lives. So that is what I do. I am so excited to be on the live today, and I was running a little late, but I am here. I'm so excited, and I'm just grateful to God that I'm sitting here and I'm able to have this live with you today. I'm just going to recap on what we talked about in the last few weeks. We talked about pain, or what it is, that it is not only a physical symptom, because the misconception for people sometimes is that pain is something that they see. But we talked about pain being something that's invisible, something that you can't see. It can be due to trauma. It can be due to perpetual cycles of pain. For me, it has been due to poverty and to relationships that were not healthy for me. So just because you can't see it does not mean it's not pain. Another thing about pain, it is something that puts you in a state of unease, something that's not normal. So that is what pain is. Last week we talked about the perception that the biggest thing, because my job is to help women and some men too, but to help women to take their pain, look at it differently through a different lens, a different perception, and be able to stand on that pain and use that pain as fuel to fuel them in their daily life. So by looking at the pain and standing it as fuel, instead of their historic way of looking at the pain as an inconvenience, they're able to now reinvent the way that they lead life. Last week we talked about the importance of changing your perception towards the pain. It's not the enemy. You know it. It's been following you all your life. Now you have a name for it. Now you have identified it. So knowing what you're looking at, the way you handle it becomes differently. Hi, thank you for joining. I'm so excited to be here today. I was running a little late, but I'm here. By the grace of God, I'm here. And I was just recapping what we talked about last week and who I am. Melody, a Pain to Purpose Accelerator that works with women that have recognized perpetual cycles of pain and have decided to look at life differently, have decided to move forward. Hey Lisa, nice to see you. So that is just so exciting. So last week we also talked about the importance of leading with your strength, instead of for people that have been, yes, that is so true. Pain is not the enemy, but I can change my perception towards that pain, and it does not own me anymore. I now know who you are. You are pain. I'm going to treat you differently. And if, in fact, because of the pain, I have expanded. Because of the pain, I have so much potential and I can handle so much that if I just get the right direction, I am unstoppable. That's the bottom line. We talked about the importance last week of not focusing on everything that you're weak in, because that is the propensity for people that have been through cycles of pain. Is if it's been abuse in relationships, if it's just been life dealing you a hard blow, we tend to look at life through the lens of I'm not good in this, and you've been told you're not good in different things. But what the biggest thing is this: it does not matter what you're not good in, right? We're not going to focus on what we're not good in. We're going to identify those things that we do so well. Those things that Melody does so well that even I know this is my God-given talent. For me, I spoke about motivating people. I spoke about being a motivator. I love motivating. I love exalting other people and saying, you can do it. So you lead your life with the things that you do well. So you start your day pushing through in the things you do very well, right? So if I'm a motivator, wherever I am, I step out my door, I am like, you're doing so well. You can be somebody. And the thing about life is when you lead with the things that you're very strong in, God has a way, for me, God has a way of bringing people to you through your day that need your best talent, right? So you lead your life with in your strongest suit, and you are winning. You begin to win, and you start attracting to you the higher vibration circumstances. So you're no longer moving through from a point of I'm not good enough and I can't do it. You're moving through from a point of people are saying, wow, you helped me. Wow, how did you do that? Wow, thank you for motivating me. And that's how we overcome. We kind of move from that place of pain, because you're no longer sitting there in your low vibration pain, but you're standing there in your high vibration, highest level of yourself, and you're pushing through life. So today I just want to touch quickly on, because we talked about the perception being changing. I want to talk about paradigm. Paradigm is it's a pattern. So allow me to just, and I know sometimes we're so used to doing things a certain way that when somebody's trying to bring a different perspective, it's difficult. But just give me just an ear and just listen a little bit and internalize it. And if anything, I'm going to say the biggest thing is, for me as a Pain to Purpose Accelerator, my story is I came from, and I usually lead with that. I stand on my story because I was born in Zimbabwe, Africa, and my parents were middle income. If it was up to our situation and our circumstance, I would probably not be here in the United States. My parents worked hard, but it was not a situation where it would have been easy for me to come to the United States of America. But they had a belief in God, and they had a mindset of you can do anything. And through by faith, I was able to pursue coming to the United States of America. But the one thing that I had when I was young were certain behaviors that did not match being in Africa. So I would always go to the airport with my parents and watch airplanes, no matter what our financial situation was. I always stayed at the American Information Center every day, just looking through the books and looking at the apartments. And mentally, I was living in America, but I was not in America. So certain behaviors that I did, unbeknownst to me at that time, were the reason that I attracted America towards me. And my coming to America happened so through faith. And I got my visa, and my parents sold their car and put me in an airplane, and the rest is history. So one of the things about who I was before I came to this country, I had a different paradigm. I was in Zimbabwe. My parents were middle income. I wanted to come to America. There was basically no way for me to make it to America. Financially, there was no way I would be able to come to America. But in my mind, my mindset, I did not, it wasn't an issue, because I was just on a higher frequency because of my parents. They just said, you can always do anything. So I would go to the American Information Center every day and peruse through the books and look at and see Miami and see the different restaurants. And I just remember it was normal for me. And I literally got to a point I could talk about, oh yeah, in Miami, you know, they have palm trees, because I could see it in the books. So I was in a different place. I was in Africa, but I was really not mentally. But I changed a pattern, right? Instead of just being in my society, in my immediate society, and being in that state, I changed my patterns. I changed my paradigm. My whole paradigm was I went into those places that were aligned with where I was going. I would frequent the American Embassy. I would frequent the American Information Center. I would call the college constantly, asking different questions. I had a friend in the United States. I would talk to her all the time. So everything I was doing was leading towards where I was going. So what does that mean for us who have had pain constantly, and we're moving from a place of pain to purpose? Whatever we've been doing all this time, change it. all the patterns that we've continued to repeat and the cycles that we've continued to repeat. Hi Eve, Nola, welcome. How are you? Happy to see you. Happy to see you. I am so excited. I am so excited that you joined. I am so excited, and I just pray that you are just doing amazing. I was just talking about who I am and my journey from Africa and how I stand on my story. That when I was in Africa, yes, thank you for the hearts. I appreciate the hearts. I was talking about how if it was not for, I was talking about how I made it to the United States, that it's not that financially I was supposed to be here, but it was an act of faith, and it was an act of will, and it was an act of patterns that I did. I am so happy to hear you're doing good. So the biggest thing is, and I'm sure you can relate because you came from Haiti, but what I'm talking about today is I kind of just introduced myself, Melody, a Pain to Purpose Accelerator. I work with women who are moving from pain to purpose, women that have had perpetual cycles of pain that follow them. And unfortunately, we may not be able to stop the pain, but the one thing that we need to realize is we actually, because of all this pain, have stretched into a higher level of tolerance. We can go through a lot. And because of all the pain we've been through, we are so resilient. So if we take that resilience we have and we look at the pain differently, not as the enemy, but if we look at it and say, okay, I know your pain, I know who you are, but I'm going to handle you differently. I'm going to look at you differently. I'm going to stand on you as opposed to me mourning about you, right? As opposed to me looking at you as the enemy. I'm going to look at you, and I know now that you're pain. I know how you feel. I know how you feel. I know that you're pain. But I'm going to stand on you, and daily, I'm going to look at you as who you are, to say you are pain. But I'm going to look at you and know who you are, and you won't have power over me. So what happens is you begin to stand on that pain as opposed to the pain being on you. You stand on that pain and you go through your day. You go through your day in victory, right? Because you're standing on that pain. You're not sitting there and letting that pain take you down. Another thing is when you change your perception, you don't look at yourself as a failure, and you don't look at yourself as that you are the victim, but you're able to look at to take the higher qualities in you and say, you know what? I may have pain, but I am smart. I may have all this pain, but I have conquered. Look at what I have done in my life. I have overcome this, and I educated myself, and I did this, and I'm raising my children. So if you look at the positive things you're doing, the good things you're doing, and then you lead your life with the good things that you're doing, you wake up every day and you say, and you live in that place of what your strengths, right? Like we're all moms here. You say, I am such a great mom. I am such a great mom. And you lead your life, and at the end of the day, you can look back and you've won. Day by day, we begin to change how we move through life. Your posture even changes, right? And now I was talking about what I'm talking about today is the importance of a paradigm, a different pattern. And I had said, whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you've been doing all this time, in order to move into a different dimension of yourself, in order to move into a higher version of yourself, in addition to changing your perception, you want to try to do things differently. And this is where I was talking about when I was in Africa. I was in Africa, but in all honesty, and I know people must have really looked at me and wondered, what is wrong with this girl? Because I was living in the United States while I was in Africa. I would go to all things America, American Embassy, American Information Center. I would sit there, I would talk to the people. I would read the books. Whatever books I could get, I would get them and bring them home, because whatever books they were giving away. I would call my school. I knew which colleges were cheap cheaper in America, because I would be looking through all of them. And I even got very familiar with the people that worked at the colleges. So what I'm saying is, there are things that you've been doing, right? Me included. There were things I was doing before I had the revelation that I am not my pain. Those things that you've been doing, in order to move into a higher version of yourself, because you deserve greatness. You deserve to live your best life. You deserve to unleash the higher version of yourself. And anybody that has been through pain has so much potential inside because of what you've been through. It's just a matter of time when the match is lit and the world gets to see the best you. The best you. And this is what my mission is. My mission, and God help, and I pray that God continues to help me, because my mission is to help women move into that highest version of themselves. Hey, Stephanie! My mission is to help women move to that higher version of yourself, no matter what you've been through. So some of the things that we can do, Stephanie, it's Melody. I was just so excited that you joined. I was just finishing introducing myself, because I work with women move from pain to purpose, and I help women stand on their pain, women that have had perpetual cycles of pain. And today I'm talking about the importance of, when we want a different life, for us that have been through pain, we have been through so much. Women that have been through so much pain have so much capacity. People don't even know how much capacity we have, because we've internalized the pain. But when we've been through this much pain, when you get the right, when you get into the right mind frame and you get around the right people and the right leading, you are unstoppable. You are unstoppable to uncharted waters, literally. And I'm an example. Look at me. I'm sitting here and I am living my best life, helping women lead from pain to purpose. I never thought I would be here today, but by the grace of God, I am here, and I'm walking in my purpose. So it's important to change whatever patterns you've been doing all this time. So I'm going to give you a few examples, and I always lean on my story, what I did, because I've seen the success in my story. One of the biggest things, and I've already pointed it out, is to change your behaviors, right? Let your behaviors mirror where you're going. So you need to decide, because everyone knows where they're trying to go. Whether we do it or not is another story. But if you decide, I want, in the next month or in the next year, I want to be at a certain place, then when you make that decision, you start to do the things that will take you there. Now, an example is this. For me, I love working with women pain to purpose. I have a very packed life, right? But in order to work with women from pain to purpose, I have to reach the women, right? So I have to get onto Facebook. I have to do a Facebook Live. I have to speak to the women. That's not something I would have done ordinarily. And I'm sure many of you know me from way back years ago before I evolved. I was very quiet, right? But part of me finding my purpose is I've become bubbly, and I am motivating, and I am exalting other people. I'm saying you can do it, because that's part of my strength. So whatever it is you want to do, you have to actively take those steps to go towards that. That's where I come in. I help you walk in the uncomfortable. I help you, motivate you to say you can do it, because it's like a different place that you'll be going. But I help you move into that next place. I have a coach. Her name is Mia. I wanted to become a pain to purpose coach. And first of all, I had no idea what I wanted to become. Let me say that. I just knew that there was a higher calling on my life, right? And in trying to search for that higher, saying, what did God create me to do? I had to change my paradigm, and I realized what I was doing every day wasn't going to find me that solution. So I had to change that paradigm. And one of the first things I did was I got a coach, and her name is Mia. And while working with her, I looked for a coach who aligned with what I needed to do. And what I needed to do was find what I'm good at. And that was what she does. So I aligned myself with her. That was a different paradigm. So out of the box, so not what I would have done. Hi, Cynthia. How are you? Hi, Sylvia. Hi, how are you? Nice for you to join. I'm so excited for you to join. I was running a little bit late, but I'm here, and I was just talking about a different paradigm today, that we need to be in a different paradigm. So working with my coach, Mia, is a different paradigm. It's nothing that I would have done. So being on Facebook is, and being on a live is one of those things that I was challenged to do. And the very first time I had to do it, awesome. One of the very first times I had to do it, it was very different. It was unusual. But that's what I did. Knowing where I wanted to go, I decided I needed to make a change. And one of those changes was getting a coach. And that's a totally different pattern of doing things from my old way of doing things in that pain, in that perpetual cycle of pain. Another big thing is you have to change how you speak to yourself, right? That voice inside you should not be one that is of condemning you. Most of us that have been in pain have been either the recipient of being told you're no good, or we just have not had the most positive vibration around us. So you want to be able to systematically change that inner voice inside you. And one of the ways you can do that is to get books that actually help you to speak to yourself, right? That's number one. Number two is to get around other women that are chasing after what you want. Because now they're in a higher vibration. You're there in your vibration that is soon to become a higher vibration, whether you like it or not. And I'm so blessed. And Sylvia just joined. She's one of the giants, one of the women that are in the community that I am, that are of a higher vibration, that no matter how much I am down, their vibration is just so contagious that I can't help but come back up. So you want to change your pattern. You want to change the people that you surround yourself. You want to increase the positive vibration, the people that you surround yourself with. Yes, Sylvia, and it's the truth. The giants are amazing. You ladies are amazing, and our coach Mia she's just amazing. And so you want to change that vibration that's around you. You want to make sure you're leading positively to yourself, being nice to yourself. And that means your perception towards yourself, of yourself, your value, and what you say to yourself. And it takes work, because you literally have to train yourself to speak positively towards yourself and to be kind to yourself, right? And forgive yourself for anything that you may have in the past that you've condemned yourself for. Because that's another thing we do, is there's so many things, especially for me, I was a high achiever. So I was constantly in that place where I was like, I'm so disappointed I never went to pharmacy school. I'm so disappointed I never did this. And I had to just let that go and say, you know what? I am just happy to be here. And whatever I am doing today, I am living my best life. I am not going to live with any condemnation. I'm not going to live with any negativity. You just have to forgive yourself. And when you forgive yourself, you allow yourself to live at a highest version of yourself. Whatever is going on in your life right now, whatever it is that you may at some point have been beating yourself up about, I want you to let it go. You are enough. You are enough. Enough is an understatement. You are so much more. You are so much more. We are just privileged to have you on this earth. We're privileged, right? As you are enough. Another pattern that you want to change is, there's got to be somebody that you admire, right? And we have a lot of books that have been written, a lot of memoirs that have been written. Thank you, Sylvia. We have a lot of memoirs that have been written by biographies. I would read a biography of somebody that you admire, right? Because we have to watch what's coming in, right? If we don't expose ourselves to reading books that are towards where we're going, and if what's coming in our immediate world, if it's not of a higher frequency and if it's not positive, we kind of will shrink down. So people like us who've been through pain, we cannot afford to be around low vibration long. It's just a fact. You have to seek out positive people. You have to seek out a higher level people in terms of their frequency. And one of the biggest things for me is my faith in God, right? So I lead my life with, I know who I am in Christ. So no matter what's going on in my life, I'm fully persuaded I cannot be down on myself. I have to stay true to myself, and I stay positive about it no matter what's going on. So when we're what are some of the things, and I'm just going to go down a list of some of the things that you can do to change your pattern every day, right? So you can start winning. And remember, a habit takes about 90 days or more, right? And it's something that you consistently have to do. And this is why I'm here as a Pain to Purpose Accelerator, because I'm never tired of motivating. It's just something I do constantly. I am never tired. I just love to see people win. And I stand on my story because I know what it feels like to be in pain. I know what it feels like to be talked down to. I know what it feels like to have poverty. I know what it feels like to be in abusive relationships. And it's not everyone's story, but it's my story, right? So I understand that part. Other people, you have your own type of pain, and which is unique to you, but pain is the same. Our way of overcoming and standing over it is the same. So one of the things I do is I am solidly grounded in Christ. So making sure that I pray every day, making sure that I have daily declarations every day, speaking to myself every day from the Word of God and telling myself who I am in Christ helps me. That is one of my biggest way of doing every day, resetting myself and making sure that I am grounded in my patterns that are going to help me win. Making sure reading books that are aligned with where you're trying to go. That's a big thing. And understudying mentors and role models to see their pattern of doing things, because they're winning for a reason. That's a tip, literally. They're winning for a reason. So if I understudy them and if I read their biographies and I learn from them, then I can change the way I do things in my life. And making sure, checking into the community. It's not enough to just be in the community, right? You want to make sure you check into the community that serves you. For me, it is the women, the giants, who keep me centered, who keep me on a higher vibration. If I never check into the community, then I don't get the benefit. So if you find positive friends, or if you find an accountability partner, making sure you check in with that accountability partner every day to make sure that you stay on track, right? We need each other, and I think the biggest thing, as I'm closing, is the biggest thing is we cannot do it alone, right? And why would I want to do life alone when I can do life with people that want the same thing I want to do? And I think as women, we need to serve each other. We need to not be selfish. We need to cheer each other on. And I think that's where our power is. When you cheer the other woman on, there's a day you're going to want her to cheer you on. And that's why we have to build each other. That's why we have to build each other. And that is why I'm here. And that is why I am motivated to help women move from pain to purpose. And one of the other things that you want to make sure you do, and I'm a nurse by trade, so I have to talk about good nutrition, making sure you eat right, making sure you exercise, you work out, because all that I've been talking about has been for your brain, right, for your mind. But you want to make sure that you feed that mind. You want to make sure you feed your body. You want to make sure you exercise your body, and exercise and stay healthy. And the other thing that I wanted to make sure I talk about is making time for yourself, right? I've had to be reminded of that by my body in the last week, that I have to take care of myself. So everything that we do, we also need to take time for ourselves. Making sure and that could be, if you're somebody that loves to paint. If you love take vacations, if you just want a day off, take a day off, but make sure you take time for yourself, because it's okay to be working. Even working on yourself is work, right? But you also want to take time to nurse yourself and to better care for yourself. So as I close, I am just so excited at your journey, and the fact that you tuned in today means that you want better for yourself, means that you're on your way to a higher place. And I am so excited for you. And I am just here to cheer you on and to just tell you that you can do it, and to say you're not any negative thought that crosses your mind, but your greater self is on the other side of those thoughts. It's that positive thoughts. Lead your life with your highest gifts. Move through life with your highest self, and change your patterns. Whatever you've been doing in the past that is not served, it has not served you. For me, it hadn't served me. Start making strides to change towards where you're going. And if you need help, most of us need help. If you need help, get the help that aligns with where you're trying to go. For me, I serve women that want to move from pain to purpose. The women I serve don't want they don't want to use pain as a crutch anymore. The women I serve have already identified that pain is a problem, and they're willing to do the work. I'm not for you and this is just like a blanket statement, like who I am is not for that person who wants to cuddle their pain and use it as a story. No, you were destined for a greater life. So we can't cuddle that pain. We literally need to stand on it and move you to your highest version of yourself. I am excited for you, and I'm just excited for you. And I do pray that this live today, that you got something out of it. That my hope that is, if you came with a lower vibration, you're going off the live with a high vibration, because that's just where I live. I am excited for the future, and I'm excited for our next live. I'll be back next Sunday for another live as we just delve into our pain to purpose journey. And if you need to send me, does anyone have a question before I log out? I can take any questions, whatever questions you may have. I can take any questions right now. If you have any questions for me, I can take any questions that you may have. I am just so excited. I'm just so excited. All right. So I don't see any questions. I pray that you have an awesome week. Have a good day, and feel free to inbox me if you want to inbox me. That's fine too. Have a great day.